The one thing I do request you, Dr. Sachin and Suraj, is don't pin me when I talk. क्योंकि अगर आप पिन कर दोगे तो फिर recording में it'll just be my face, which I which I don't want to see. So that would be good.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so when can we start? I think it's like 8:33. So Vikas, tell me, when can we start?
I think like if there's something that you want to share verbally for next 2 minutes, you can share.
Yes.
Meanwhile, if anyone has to join, they can join as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really good idea. So basically, I just want to thank all of you that all of you are here, and I will do my best to make sure that that both of us, me and Amit, we respect and honor your time and don't hold you back too long. I mean, we'll try to do our best to make sure that we finish in 1 hour. But if we go a little over, I hope all of you will sort of forgive us. So today there's a lot of things to cover. I have got a couple of points which I want to share. Dr. Amit has got something to say to you. And so probably we will not be able to make it very participatory. We will not be able to give everybody a chance to say something or ask questions. But remember, the Telegram group also is a wonderful place to ask questions. You can ask your questions by just through audio. Record the audio and leave a question there. And one of us is bound to answer. And in fact, all of you also are welcome to join the fun and answer each other's questions. So I think most of us are here. Most of us are here, I think. So maybe I'll start slowly. So everyone can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay. So let me begin. So today we want to talk about what is different between uh, TOPG 2 compared to earlier versions. And some of you, I'm sure, have been watching MOOC from the very beginning. I think we started sometime in 2018 or 2018 winter, I think. So the first MOOC was a very simple bare bones Google Classroom where the tasks were listed, and you had to join and do those tasks, record the videos, and we used to leave comment on your videos. So so we have come a long way from that point. Then the next version was where we started a synchronous class. So still there was a MOOC, but we all started on a fixed date and ended on a fixed date as a group. And then in the third version, we had a dedicated Telegram group accompanying the MOOC. So MOOC was there, but the people who were doing MOOC in this synchronous class were interacting in a dedicated Telegram group. And that was called TOPG, TISA Online Practice Group. And now we have got TOPG 2.0. So you might wonder, what is this 2.0 doing here? So Dr. Amit and I had a long discussion about it, and Dr. Amit said that it's time that we share the underlying concept, theory, ideas behind the MOOC. So now in TOPG 2.0, we are trying to give you the underground, the underlying assumptions, theory, science. Why should you watch your own video after recording it and not simply post it online for Sachin to respond to? How does watching your own video helps you? How does bouncing help somebody who stammers? So these kind of questions, which earlier we were not paying too much time with attention to, Earlier, we were saying record a video, watch it yourself, then do this, then do that. So whole of the focus was on doing things. But now we think that we are ready to discuss and share the underlying understanding, the assumptions, the theory, the concepts, the speech science. And so this is one big difference. The other difference was we have given a title to each module. And if somebody can read the title to module number 2, I'll be very grateful. Can anyone open the MOOC and see what is the title for the MOOC for the module 2 in this new TOPG 2.0? Because Dr. Amit has given title to these modules which beautifully summarize the purpose of those 3-4 core tasks which are in that module. So can anyone read out the heading for the module 2 or even for module 1?
So
है कोई ऐसा बहादुर जो
yeah, here, hello. Hi.
yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay. So the title for the second module is Know Your Stammering, Developing Self-Awareness. Then the title
Yes.
for module 1 is Introductions in Personal and Social Environment.
Thank you so much, Vinayak. So you can see developing self-awareness or developing understanding of your own stammering. This is the purpose and the objective of those initial 3 or 4 core tasks in the module 1. So every module has got a title, has got a heading, which will help you to get ready. And then the other difference is that earlier TOPG was very tightly packed. In 3 weeks, we used to try and finish all the 21 core tasks. It was a lot of pressure. But now we have done away with that, and now we have got 4 months for the entire MOOC. So in 4 months, we believe that pace will be easy, and you'll have a lot of time to internalize things. And so I just want to ask everyone a very quick question. That is there anybody who is feeling a pace a little bit too much for him or her in TOPG 2.0 based on last 8 or 9 or 10 days? हमारे पर बहुत दबाव हो गया है. Is there anybody who feels there is too much pressure? Okay, so it means that nobody's feeling like that. And if you ever feel like that, you are most welcome to share. But I believe that this time pressure is not so much. In earlier MOOC and TOPG 1, we used to put pressure from the very beginning, and in 21 days, they used to finish all these videos. So pace is easy this time. There's more emphasis on underlying concepts, science, application. We'll also talk about how you apply the principle uh, of uh, of self-disclosure. In what context, how should you go about it? In a job interview, when you are approaching another person, or those kind of things. And Dr. Amit has got a very nice phrase about it: building the ship as you sail it. So it's a half-ready ship. Some planks are still to be put, and a tar has to be rubbed into the bottom so that it doesn't leak. But the thing is, as we are sailing this ship, we are fixing it all. So all of us together, faculty and the participant and the students, everyone. So it is not a finished product, and so therefore you need not worry if something is hurting you, or if something is causing you discomfort. You are most welcome to share that, because we will try to accommodate that as we are completing the course. Next thing is, one cohort stays with the program for the entire 4 months. There was a time in MOOC when we were just leaving it open format. Anybody could join anytime and leave anytime. So it was like January, 2 people joined, March, 1 person left, 3 joined. So it continued throughout the year. And we were so people were posting their videos, and I or Suraj sometime was leaving comments on their videos. So things were very relaxed, very open, and probably some people were they found it so convenient that they will not even complete it. So that was one extreme. And then there was the other extreme where everything had to be done in 21 days. So now we are trying to find a sweet spot where there is not too much pressure, and at the same time, there's a little bit of expectation that you should finish it in 4 months. I'm thinking of TOPG 2.0 in terms of operations research, that we are conducting a course, and we also are reflecting while we are implementing it, thinking about it. And therefore, I'm quite sure that next iteration of TOPG 2.0 will be even better than this. And you are partner in this development program. Okay, so a conceptual framework is like this. A good intervention should touch these 3 dimensions. I'm just repeating the same thing which you've read in the Gore and Margolis write-up, the 3E write-up article. So basically, that article, Dr. Amit shared with that article with me some time back, and he also encouraged me to write to document TOPG from the perspective of that article. He was thinking that maybe TISA should submit a documentation about TOPG, bringing out how TOPG knowingly or unknowingly derives strength from this 3E model, this 3E super model. We didn't know about it 5 years ago, and but we were doing it more or less right things in that light. So he was encouraging me to document and write, and maybe someday we will share this in some academic journal. Who knows? And if we do, it will be our first attempt as an organization dealing with academics and the professionals. So ease of speaking, you understand that whatever we do, it should help us to speak easily. We shouldn't be tired by the end of the day. Why? Because we have been struggling with stammering so much. So ease of speaking, education, empower, all these 3 things you have understood to some extent, definitely. Dr. Amit also will be talking about it. And we will continue talking about it for next 4 months. Anytime you want to find out, does this activity fit under ease of speaking, or is it educational, or is it empowerment tool? You are most welcome to share that question. And one more thing I want to say, this 3E super model is also a way of testing your own growth. Earlier, therapists as well as we ourselves were we had bought into that before and after model, that I was speaking like this, and now after 3 days, I'm speaking like this. I mean, many websites used to have those videos of the clients, video before intervention and video 3 weeks after the intervention. And we also sometimes used to judge our fluency on that basis. We used to say, last month I was not stammering so much. Now I'm stammering so much. What is wrong? In other words, why my techniques are not working? What is wrong? So now we are saying that instead of judging yourself on the basis of your fluency, you have this model where you can think of these three E. Are they working for you or not? You may be still stammering, but are you able to stammer easily now? Are you feeling more empowered now? So these are the new criteria on which you should be judging your own progress, rather than worrying about last week I didn't stammer at all, but this week I stammered twice on my name. So think of this as a tool for self-evaluation. And other thing we've been saying for last many years, that whatever you do should have 2 phases, action and reflection. You make a video, then you watch your own video, and then you reflect on it. Where am I sounding like a sincere, genuine person? Where am I coming across a trustworthy person, even if not fluent? And the last thing which I want to, mention here is documentation. Earlier also, we used to emphasize a lot about documentation, but this time we are giving more emphasis to it in terms of journaling. And journaling can help your personal growth in so many ways. Lot of information is available about it online, and we will also be sharing more ideas about this. A minimum commitment. So how much commitment are we asking for? Because this could be important question for many of you. So basically, the minimum thing is this, that we expect you to make videos. And they will not be a lot. They will be like, 1 to 2 video per week. And we will be announcing what videos you have to make at the beginning of the week. That is Monday by 10 a.m. in Telegram group. A message will be there that please attempt 2.1, 2.3, 2.2 in next 6 days or 7 days. And after that, you will have 6-7 days to finish them. One reading or writing or video review assignment per week. Dr. Amit has selected a lot of useful resources as video and as write-up, which he'll be sharing once a week, which you have to just go through, read. And now, as Vinayak has done, he has produced a very easy summary using ChatGPT. You can use that. And you can share that in the group so that others can also benefit by that. Attend weekly Zoom sessions. So Zoom session is only one in the week on Monday, like today. Earlier, when we were doing it in 21 days, we were having Zoom session every day. And every day we were giving feedback. Why didn't you come yesterday? You have missed out something important. So there was a lot of pressure in those earlier days. But in TOPG 2.0, you have got only one video session in the entire week. And we'll make sure that we will restrict it to 1 hour, at the most 1 hour 10 minutes. Optional, help others as peers. This is I mean, if you are in a position to help others and if you have got time, you are most welcome to post a little summary of a article or share your ideas about a video which is being shared as a optional task. And journal entries also again is optional. If you like to write, you are most welcome to write journal and share it with us, with me and Amit. And you can also do your journal entry as audio or as video. In your Google Drive, you can have a folder where you can leave short memos, audio memos, what happened, what you want to talk about, all those things. And then you can give access to that to me and Amit if you want to share that with us. So your journal entry can be either as text or audio or even as video. So try whatever you want to. I mean, whatever idea appeals to you. Be experimental, be creative. And the criteria for success, we don't have any criteria to say that you have passed or you have failed. There are no credits for writing journal or writing a summary of something. But I will say that if you complete all the tasks, then you can pat yourself on your own back and say, well, I started something and I completed it. What a wonderful person I am. In the same way, you can also decide using the 3E criteria. Is your speech less tiring? Are your blocks less tiring now? Are you able to move forward in spite of stammering? Are you able to stop people and tell them that, look, I stammer, I talk like this, not a big deal. Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling? If you are able to do these small things, then you can understand that you are moving in the right direction. Are you more at ease in social situations? Is your obsession with speaking perfectly reduced? These are some of the criteria which you can use to decide your own success or your own progress. And lastly, this submission thing, Suraj has already covered it yesterday at very places on the stream page of the MOOC and in the Google submission form. And most of you are doing it, so thank you so much. Audio call records, you can, if they are short audios, you can share that in Telegram group itself. MOOC assignments, Suraj has already covered. You can make 2 documents. I mean, you'll keep on writing, documenting, sharing your thoughts, and from there copy paste to the again for different assignments. Telegram group can easily be the receptacle for short answers, small audios, your creativity output. If you write a little poem, you can share that in Telegram group. So, and beyond this, if there's anything else you want to share or discuss, just let Suraj or me know, and we'll tell you where to share and how to share. So that's all I want to say from my side. I know I think I've overshot my time limit. So over to Dr. Amit. Please pay attention. He's going to tell you something very important. And even if you don't understand, don't worry. We'll be repeating these things again and again in different forms. And some of us will always share the summary or synopsis in Telegram group. So thank you so much. Over to Dr. Amit.
Okay. I think आपको is my internet, can you see me all right? Or is it a little bit unstable?
Yes.
Okay, I just got
Yes.
a little message saying
Yes.
internet connection is unstable. Okay, मैं हिंदी इंग्लिश मिली जुली थोड़ा बोलूँगा. मुझको हिंदी में अपनी प्रैक्टिस करनी है. हिंदी में बोलना प्रैक्टिस करना है. मुझे हिंदी बोलना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. यहाँ पे चांस ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता मुझे. इसलिए जितना मैं हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ उसको मैं कोशिश करूँगा. और मैं थोड़ा सा अपनी पर्सनल इंट्रोडक्शन से शुरू करता हूँ. और उसके बाद एक छोटी सी, जैसे कि सचिन जी ने प्रेजेंटेशन दी, मैं भी थोड़ी सी प्रेजेंटेशन दूंगा. एंड देन विल गो फ्रॉम देयर. तो a little bit of personal introduction. I'm a person who stammers, obviously, just like everybody else in this room. Or I grew up in Delhi, in India, obviously. और मैं वहाँ पे था until my 20s. And in my 20s, I had a pretty transformational moment. I won't get into what it was, but in my early 20s, एक काफी बदलाव आया. एक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल मोमेंट मेरी लाइफ में आई that made me do a lot of soul searching कि मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ अपनी जिंदगी से. If I survive this, what will I do with my life? So kind of a big existential philosophical question. Or there were lots of frustrations in my life when I was there thinking about as a person who stammers, what will I do in my life? What kind of job will I get? What will I do? Will I have a relationship? Will I not? जो सारी इनसिक्योरिटीज हम सबको हैं, मुझे भी थी ऑब्वियसली. और मैंने डिसाइड किया उस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल मोमेंट के बाद कि मे बी द सर्च फॉर अ करियर is not from the outside in, but from the inside out. That's my way of saying it. So I wanted to do something very, very meaningful with my life. Didn't know what that was. And so I asked myself a very important question, where does my heart lie? मेरा दिल किस चीज में है? और मेरा दिल काफी चीजों में था उस टाइम. Some positive, some not so positive. लेकिन fundamentally my heart was in my speech, not in a positive way, because I was not having a very good experience with my stammering, obviously. So I just decided to put my head where my heart was. That's my short way of saying that I decided कि अगर मैं if I can do something with my speech, if I can make my speech a professional work, that would be that would be a nice way of living a life. So accordingly, I did all the things that I needed to do at that point in time to sort of develop an interest in stammering, some professional expertise in stammering. और मैं भी ये भी जानता था कि अल्टीमेटली अगर मुझको स्टैमरिंग पे काम करना है, क्योंकि मेरा बैकग्राउंड जो है स्कूल में या कॉलेज में साइंस में नहीं था, तो मुझको वो काम जो करना होगा वो यहाँ यहाँ आके ही करना होगा. इसलिए मैंने एकेडमिक डिसीजंस किए, जैसे कि मैंने मास्टर्स लिंग्विस्टिक्स में कर रहा था उस टाइम. फिर मैं सेकंड मास्टर्स किया अप्लाइड साइकोलॉजी में, एम्फेसिस इन क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी. और उसके बाद थोड़ा काम करने के बाद मैं यहाँ पर आया पीएचडी करने के लिए. That was over 31 years ago, long time ago. और मेरी फर्स्ट स्पीच थेरेपी जो हुई वो हुई जब मैं सेकेंड ईयर में था ग्रेजुएट स्कूल में. मैं क्लिनिक प्रैक्टिकम करने जा रहा था, लोगों से बच्चों के साथ काम करने जा रहा था, एडल्ट्स के साथ करने जा रहा था। तो आई वांटेड टू गेट माय स्टैमरिंग अंडर सम कंट्रोल। तो मेरी पहली, my first and only experience with my own speech therapy, I've been doing speech therapy on myself for so many years, लेकिन formal experience जो था मेरा वो 31 years ago हुआ। I went through a very very heavy fluency shaping approach, जहाँ पे सारी अपना आपका जो स्पीच पैटर्न है ओवरहॉल होता है, रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग, उसको उसको स्पीच रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग अप्रोच भी बुलाते हैं। और उस फ्लुएंसी शेपिंग अप्रोचेस में असम्पशन ये है कि जो हमारा करंट स्पीच पैटर्न है जो हमने डेवलप किया है, दैट्स नॉट वर्किंग फॉर अस। इसलिए वी वांट टू restructure the speech completely and come up with a different speech pattern कि जिसमें हकलाहट बहुत कम हो या ना हो। It's very controversial. It's also niche. Not a lot of people even here can afford it. It's certainly not an option all over the world. But I had the unique advantage of having undergoing a very heavy fluency shaping program, and I was hungry for it. मैं किसी भी प्रोग्राम्स, किसी भी स्पीच थेरेपी के लिए मैं बहुत भूखा था। तो जो भी काम करना था, जो भी एक्स्ट्रा काम करना था, ये असाइनमेंट करनी थी, वो असाइनमेंट करनी थी, मैंने सब की। और 1 साल तक मैंने अपनी स्पीच को निरंतर उसके ऊपर काम किया। और उसके बाद जो है जो मेरी फ्लुएंसी निकली, उसके बाद स्पॉन्टेनियस फ्लुएंसी निकली और कंट्रोल फ्लुएंसी निकली, जो भी निकली, दैट वाज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी। मैं जानता था, तभी भी जानता था, अभी भी जानता हूं कि मैं आई विल ऑलवेज बी अ पर्सन हु stammers. I'm wired differently. We're all wired differently a little bit for speech. मैं ये सब जानता था, and why fluency shaping I think worked for me. Why this heavy program in speech restructuring worked for me, because I had a high level of acceptance that this is not going to fix my stammer, but it's going to make it a lot easier to talk. After that, जो भी मैंने काम किया, that was on me. So that's the way I approached it. So um, क्या हो रहा है कि पिछले यहाँ 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 पे कई सालों में, डेकेड्स में, जो स्पीच थेरेपी हो रही है वेस्ट में, आई स्पीक वेरी जनरली अबाउट द वेस्ट बट लेट मी लोकेट इट स्पेसिफिकली इन द यूएस। जो यहाँ पे स्पीच थेरेपी जो मिलती है लोगों को, कई सालों से, पिछले through decades and decades of work, it has been proceeding according to the medical model. इसका मतलब ये है कि हम stammering is seen as an impairment largely that is located in the body, और जो disability जो होती है stammering से, impairment that results in a disability, जो भी चीज एक्टिविटीज में हम लिमिटेड फील करते हैं, उसका भी बोझ जो है, उसका भी जो बर्डन जो है, इंडिविजुअल को ही डील करना होता है। तो both the impairment and the disability are located in the body. That is the medical model. और उसके लिहाज से अगर आप थेरेपी प्रोसीड करेंगे तो आपका इम्पल्स ये होगा कि लेट्स फिक्स द पर्सन, राइट? लेट्स फिक्स द स्टैमरिंग इटसेल्फ। क्योंकि उसमें क्या होगा कि बिकॉज स्टैमरिंग इज मैलिएबल बिहेवियर, क्योंकि वो स्टैमरिंग ऐसा बिहेवियर है जिसके ऊपर हम थोड़ा कंट्रोल एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं, तो क्यों ना एक्सरसाइज करें उसके ऊपर कंट्रोल, सो वी कैन, इफ वी कैन मैनेज द स्टैमर, there wouldn't be a disability component. That's the assumption of proceeding from the medical model. अब क्या हो रहा है पिछले 5-10 सालों में, या हो रहा है कि यहाँ पर भी स्पीच थेरेपी जो है, बहुत उसमें बहुत बदलाव आ रहा है। लोग समझ रहे हैं, और people have understood, some of us have understood this for many many years, कि इफ यू जस्ट वर्क ऑन द स्पीच, अगर हम स्पीच पे ही अगर काम करेंगे, फोकस करेंगे, तो हमारे जो चेंज जो होगा, इट विल नॉट बी अ ड्यूरेबल चेंज। क्योंकि हम लोगों में कुछ लोग हैं जो इस टाइप का काम कर सकते हैं, कुछ लोग हैं जिनमें कम क्षमता है, कुछ लोग हैं जो अपने स्पीच के ऊपर बिल्कुल काम नहीं करना चाहते, वो स्पॉन्टेनियसली बोलना चाहते हैं, चाहे हकलाते हैं चाहे नहीं हकलाते हैं, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ वेरिएशन। तो speech therapists have been listening to the stammering community for many years now, and we are very much in sync with that community, much more than we have been in the past. And so now अब क्या focus है यहाँ पे भी speech therapy में भी कि we want to reduce adverse impact. जो स्टैमरिंग का एडवर्स इम्पैक्ट होता है, जो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट होता है, वो उसको डील करने के लिए, उसको कम करने के लिए स्पीच में ही चेंज की जरूरत नहीं है, और भी कई चीजों में जरूरत है. तो अपने आप को एडवोकेट करना, अपने लिए एडवोकेट करना, सेल्फ डिस्क्लोज करना, वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग करना, गेटिंग इन टच विद द कम्युनिटी, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपना अवॉइडेंस बिहेवियर करना, ये सब कुछ जो है, दिस इज एक्चुअली मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि जो फ्लुएंसी में चेंज आएगा, लेट दैट बी अ बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस रादर देन अ फोकस ऑन एक्सक्लूसिवली ऑन स्पीच, ऑन इन स्पीच थेरेपी. तो इस असम्पशन से अगर आप प्रोसीड करेंगे, तो आप जो भी चेंज अपने स्पीच में ला सकते हैं, ताकि हमें कम संघर्ष हो, कम स्ट्रगल हो, कम फिजिकल टेंशन फील करें हम, और ज्यादा फॉरवर्ड मूवमेंट भी एक्सपीरियंस कर सकें हम. ये सब कुछ चलता रहेगा. दिस इज अ ट्विन फोकस, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम वी ऑल्सो वांट to be more assertive in society. We also want to influence society in a way that it is more accepting, that is it is more tolerant of the stammering experience. So I find it useful to look at, not reject either the medical or the social model, or accept the medical model and the social model entirely, but to see what is it in the medical model, to see what it is in the social model that is worth keeping, that is worth relevant. So that is my orientation to managing stammering as well. There's a fair amount of speech motor work that we can do, but there is a lot of other work that we can also do. और यहाँ पे there's been a very nice way of summarizing this, that when you're working on your speech, you're doing body work. When you're working on your internal experience, you're doing soul work. So in any person, there's the body and the soul. So we want to combine those two. And I think one of the things that is seen very clearly in the MOOC is that body and soul work. It's not just working on the speech, but it's working on the entire experience in general. So one of the things which I have found to be very, 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 very important, very useful, is कि MOOC is TISA is the only organization in the world that I know. सारी दुनिया में जो भी organization है, चाहे वो National Stammering Association हो US में, British Stammering Association हो Britain में, जो भी association है, कोई भी association ऐसी नहीं है जिसमें इस टाइप का मॉड्यूल, इस टाइप का काम हो रहा है, जिसमें एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में लोगों के लिए एक प्रोग्राम बनाया गया है कि अगर आप इस प्रोग्राम को फॉलो करेंगे तो आप डिसेंसिटाइज हो जाएंगे, आपकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ ज्यादा अच्छी हो जाएगी. कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है that I know in the world that does this, that has this particular component. So I think that we should be very, very thankful, very, very thankful to Dr. Shivastav and the other volunteers that we've created a program like this, free of cost. This is available to anybody in the subcontinent and beyond. So that I was very, very impressed by that, and I wanted to be a part of that. So being a part of that, क्या लगता है? So I want to just make sure I communicate to you what I think my role in this first iteration of this new iteration of MOOC should be. I'm playing a supportive role. The program is already there. The program is working well. Of course, any program can be improved, whether it's this one or anything else. So how can we make this a more targeted? How can we make this a bit more of a guided experience? That's basically the point. तो जो भी डॉक्टर सचिन ने बताया आपको कि ये हमारा स्ट्रक्चर है, this is all part of making it a more targeted, more of a guided experience. The other thing I wanted to say is that I really believe in experimentation. So I don't think there's an end state that we need to necessarily reach. So if you're adopting a growth mindset, you're constantly improving things, you're constantly changing things, you don't know what your potential is, so you keep exploring it. In the same way, यहाँ पर भी जो एक्टिविटीज हम कोशिश करेंगे इस वर्जन में उनको फीडबैक से रिफाइन होगा, नेक्स्ट मूक में इंक्लूड होंगी, उसमें भी चेंज आएगा. सो दिस इज ऑलवेज वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस. आई मीन दिस इज समथिंग आई वांट अस टू रियली अंडरस्टैंड एंड एम्ब्रेस. दिस इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी लाइफ, like life is work in progress. This will also remain basically work in progress. So just wanted to say. From here, यहाँ से मैं थोड़ा टाइम लगाऊंगा आपको. Basically, I don't want it to be a lecture format, but that's basically what it is. I want to talk to you a little bit about what stammering is from my side. जो भी मैंने सीखा है इसके बारे में, एक्सपीरियंशियली सीखा है, प्रोफेशनली सीखा है, मेरा क्या इसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या है. तो अगर आप गूगल क्लासरूम में जाएंगे, तो इफ यू कैन ऑल गो टू द गूगल क्लासरूम, आई विल शेयर दैट विद यू. So let me go, let me share screen. Everybody can see my screen? Yes? Okay. Okay, good, good. So let's go to the Google Classroom. और मैंने कुछ लिखा है इसके बारे में. So let's open that up and let's take a look at it together. Okay. तो मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कभी कभी करूंगा, कभी कभी नहीं करूंगा, but this is the document I'm working with. So if you can locate it, if you can open it at your end, I think it will be very useful. So for me, the fundamental question, and this goes to the E in educate, right? So we talk about 3 E's, 3E जो our model है, to educate, to ease, to empower. The education part of it is what I'm talking about right now. I'm going to spend maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes going over this a little bit. कि हमको ये समझना है कि स्टैमरिंग में यूनिवर्सल चीज क्या है और स्टैमरिंग में यूनिक चीज क्या है. Just like if you want to understand anything, we have to understand, how a person, how people behave, and then how this particular person behaves. In the same way, understanding some universal aspects of how stammering starts and how it develops is very useful, I think, because that's part of education. We need to be educated about it, and also what that means in terms of what we can do about it. So I have entitled this presentation Stuttering 101, Who Caused the Muscle Mischief, right? And so the question here is basically कि I like to say this in my classes too, rather than talk about cause, कि stammering का cause क्या है, कि अजय क्या है, I think a more interesting question is this question which I'm asking: is stammering happening to me, or is it something that I do? And that is also reflected a lot in our language, right? जब हम अपने स्टैमरिंग के बारे में बोलते हैं तो हम often बोलते हैं कि मैं ब्लॉक में चला गया. उसका क्या मतलब है? ब्लॉक हमें हो रहा है या कि हम खुद ब्लॉक में जा रहे हैं? So the idea of understanding this balance between what is happening to me and what I'm doing is actually very useful, because then you can understand what you can do. What is your role? What is our role in this sort of an experience? And then we can move accordingly. So let's take the first part of the question. Right? Is stammering happening to me? Stammering मुझ में हो रही है कि मैं कर रहा हूं? Basically ये question है. So let's take the first part. Is stammering happening to me? And the answer is yes. I think stammering is happening to us. It is out of our control to a certain extent because it is biologically based. इतने सालों से रिसर्च की है लोगों ने, साइंटिफिक रिसर्च की है लोगों ने, और हमें मालूम है, with a lot of data has been gathered on this, कि stammering एक genetic condition है, और हमारी जो न्यूरोलॉजी है, हमारा जो ब्रेन है, it is wired a little bit differently for speech. Ye, so as Dr. Sachin likes to say, the other board is a little bit different. हमारा जो आर्किटेक्चर है, हमारा जो ब्रेन आर्किटेक्चर है, वो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है. सारा डिफरेंट नहीं है, लेकिन स्पीच प्रोडक्शन के लिहाज से, स्पीच प्रोडक्शन के फंक्शन में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है. और इससे क्या होता है कि हमारे न्यूरोलॉजिकल डिफरेंसेस और जो बायोलॉजिकल डिफरेंसेस, जेनेटिक डिफरेंसेस, जो भी हमारी बायोलॉजिकल वल्नरेबिलिटी है, बायोलॉजिकल चीज है, दैट हैज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड डाउनस्ट्रीम इफेक्ट्स. उसका इफेक्ट क्या हो रहा है कि हम जब बोलते हैं तो हमको पीरियोडिकली मसल डिसकोऑर्डिनेशन एक्सपीरियंस होती है. और मसल डिसकोऑर्डिनेशन जो एक्सपीरियंस होती है वो समवेयर इन द ओरल ट्रैक्ट. जो हमारा जो ओरल ट्रैक्ट है, वोकल ट्रैक्ट है, इसमें हमें 2-3 जगह पे जो है मसल डिसकोऑर्डिनेशन महसूस होती है. एक मसल डिसकोऑर्डिनेशन, मेन मसल डिसकोऑर्डिनेशन जो हमें महसूस होती है वो यहां पे महसूस होती है जब हम, क्योंकि हमारी ब्रेथ जो है, हमारी जो हवा जो है, एग्रेसिव ब्रेथ है, इग्रेसिव ब्रेथ है, ब्रेथ जो है वो यहाँ पे वाइब्रेट करती है, हमारे वोकल फोल्ड को यहाँ पे वाइब्रेट करती है, आवाज निकालते हैं हम यहाँ से, और इस आवाज को हम शेप करते हैं अपने आर्टिकुलेटर से. अकूस्टिक्स में इसको बुलाते हैं सोर्स एंड द फिल्टर. हमारा जो सोर्स है और जो हमारा फिल्टर है, इस सबको, ऑल दिस हैज टू कम टुगेदर. और स्पीच एक ऐसा फंक्शन है, एक ऐसा ह्यूमन फंक्शन है जो बहुत ही प्रिसाइसली कोऑर्डिनेटेड है, बहुत ही प्रिसाइस है, बहुत ही सिंक्रोनाइज्ड है. इसमें बहुत कोऑर्डिनेशन चाहिए. एक शब्द को बोलने के लिए, एक साउंड को बोलने के लिए, देयर आर मेनी मसल्स दैट हैव टू कम टुगेदर. और हमारे को, और हमें क्या है, क्योंकि हमारा बायोलॉजिकल वायरिंग थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट है, तो हम यहाँ पे, स्पेसिफिकली यहाँ पे थोड़ी सी ग्लिच महसूस करते हैं, थोड़ी सी इंटरप्शन महसूस करते हैं. कैसे जानते हैं कि हम यहाँ पे महसूस करते हैं? मेनली क्योंकि when we are going from silence to sound, जब हम चुप रहते हैं और बोलना शुरू करते हैं, तब यहां पे सेंसिटिविटी हम महसूस करते हैं. That is why most of the stammering is located at the beginning of utterances. जब हम शुरू में बोलना शुरू करते हैं, वहां पे हमारी हकलाहट ज्यादा होती है. ये नहीं बोल रहा कि बाद में नहीं होती. हम, we are all very different. We have trouble initiating speech. We also have trouble transitioning across syllables. All of that happens. लेकिन statistically, distributionally, हमको यहाँ पे starting में ज्यादा महसूस होती है, because we are going from silence to sound. फिर स्पीच में क्या होता है कि कोई साउंड जो है वो वॉइस्ड हैं, कोई साउंड्स जो हैं जो अनवॉइस्ड हैं. इज एन अनवॉइस्ड साउंड ब ब ब, इट्स अ वॉइस साउंड. तो कॉन्स्टेंटली हम बोल रहे हैं, स्पीच जनरेट कर रहे हैं, तो कॉन्स्टेंटली वॉइसिंग अनवॉइसिंग में, we are constantly switching between voicing and unvoicing. So what's happening is this muscle discoordination that we are feeling over here is going to translate into some blockages, some obstruction in moving forward. This is happening to us. ये सारी जो रिसर्च है इस बारे में, साइंटिफिक रिसर्च है, मसल कोऑर्डिनेशन, स्टैमरिंग में मसल कोऑर्डिनेशन क्या है, न्यूरोलॉजिकल इन्वॉल्वमेंट क्या है, जेनेटिक रिसर्च क्या है, ये सब जो रिसर्च है ये कई सालों से एडल्ट्स पे हो रही थी. जो लोग एडल्ट्स, पीपल लाइक अस, राइट. तो उस एडल्ट स्टेज में थोड़ा मालूम नहीं है कि जो हमारे जो ब्रेन डिफरेंसेस हैं, आर दे द रिजल्ट ऑफ आवर स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस और आर दे द ओरिजिनल कॉज. यू सी व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? क्योंकि अगर हम इस टाइप से इस स्टैमरिंग से बोलते रहे हैं हम पिछले 20 साल से, 30 साल से, then maybe we've rewired our brain because we stammer. Or is it that our brain was different, which is why we talk in the way that we do? So most of this research has been done in adults, which was a little bit difficult to sort out that, iska kya cause kya hai. Now, for the last 10 to 15 years, there's been a lot of research on children, brain research on children. और उस ब्रेन रिसर्च जो है वो बच्चों पे जो की जा रही है उसका भी कंक्लूजन बहुत सिमिलर है कि ब्रेन पैटर्न्स इन चिल्ड्रन हु स्टैमर tend to be different in particular areas related to auditory processing and speech production. ये differences जो हैं बच्चों में भी मिलते हैं. जो बच्चे हकलाते हैं, particularly जो बच्चे who persist, who don't recover. These differences are maintained in those children. So to that extent, first part of the question is yes, stammering is something that is happening to me. हमारा जो body है, हमारा जो शरीर है, speech production के लिहाज से थोड़ा सा different है. First part of the question. Second part of the question is, what is our role? Stammering में हमारा क्या role है? So this part of the question is because what have we done to learn our bodies? What have our bodies learned to how to respond to stammering? इसमें हमें क्या सीखा है हमने हमारी बॉडी ने हमारे शरीर ने क्या सीखा है? And so basically the answer is that we have learned to become reactive towards our speech. हम रिएक्ट करते हैं और रिएक्ट करना ग्लिचेस को रिएक्ट करना जो हमें ग्लिचेस एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं उनको रिएक्ट करना बहुत ही नॉर्मल चीज है. It is very, very common, very, very normal. It's the biological innate response to respond with force. So I think what is going on here is I like to call them the reactivity twins. The reactivity twins are push and dodge. एक का नाम है push, एक का नाम है dodge. So there is a very natural tendency in the body to restore continuity through force. अगर हमें निरंतरता में कोई प्रॉब्लम महसूस होगी, मोटर मूवमेंट करने में, कोई मोटर मूवमेंट को जारी करने में या बंद करने में अगर कोई ग्लिच महसूस होगी, ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन महसूस होगी, उस डिसकंटिन्यूटी को, उस निरंतरता में पॉज को हम करेक्ट करते हैं फोर्स से. दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन टेंडेंसी इन द बॉडी. और उसकी एग्जाम्पल जो है, उदाहरण जो है, हमको एवरीडे लाइफ में वी कैन फाइंड इट एवरीवेयर. अगर हम कोई साइकिल चला रहे हैं जैसे, और की चेन जो है उसकी थोड़ी सी डिसरप्ट हो जाती है, उसका जो पेडल जो है थोड़ा सा डिसरप्ट हो जाता है, हमारा रिएक्शन क्या है? उसको फोर्स करते हैं, उसको पुश करते हैं. अगर मैं इस कमरे से बाहर निकलने जा रहा हूं और मुझको टाइम प्रेशर महसूस हो रहा है और हैंडल जो है मेरा डोर का स्टक है, तो मेरा फर्स्ट रिएक्शन नहीं होगा कि इसको मैं धीरे से खोलूं. मेरा फर्स्ट रिएक्शन है मैं इसको जोर लगाऊं. तो रिस्टोरिंग कॉन्टिन्यूटी थ्रू फोर्स, बल लगाना, जोर लगाना, ये नेचुरल इंपल्स है टू करेक्ट द डिसकंटिन्यूटी. That's the push part of it. That's the effort. Now, obviously, ये जो एक्सपीरियंस है पुश करने का, अपनी आंखें झपकाने का, अपना सर हिलाने का, जो भी एफर्ट हम दे रहे हैं मूव फॉरवर्ड करने के लिए, आगे बढ़ने के लिए, वो प्लेजेंट एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. और सोसाइटी जो है उसको ठीक से नहीं मानती. That is why stammering is a social stigma. 99% of the world is approximately 99% of the world is fluent, right? They have no trouble talking. They may have occasional disfluencies here and there, लेकिन 99% of the world में कोई problem नहीं है. So people expect us to be like them. People expect करते हैं कि हम भी fluent होंगे, और देखने से हम fluent लगते हैं obviously, क्योंकि देखने से कोई मालूम नहीं होता कि हम हकलाते हैं कि हम नहीं हकलाते हैं. तो हमें जो फैसिलिटी है कि हम छुपा सकते हैं, स्टैमरिंग को छुपा सकते हैं, हम उसको यूज करते हैं. एंड दैट इज द डॉज. वी ट्राई टू डॉज perceived social harm. We try to dodge emotional pain. And it's some combination, some variation, some combination of judgment and rejection. क्योंकि हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि लोग हमें जज करेंगे, रिजेक्ट करेंगे, पॉसिबली रिजेक्ट करेंगे, हम पे हंसेंगे। ये सब कुछ जो है हमको हमको डील करने के लिए हम कोपिंग स्किल डेवलप कर लेते हैं कि हमको छुपाना है, जितना हम छुपा सकते हैं हमको छुपाना है। ये भी रिएक्टिविटी बन जाती है। So if you think about the reactivity in the experience as being a combination of push and dodge, push is force, dodge is avoidance. ये हमारे रिएक्टिविटी के जुड़वा भाई हैं या जुड़वा बहनें हैं, बेसिकली ट्विंस, राइट? तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि जब हम बच्चे थे, क्योंकि हमारा स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस लास्टेड अ लॉन्ग टाइम, क्योंकि हमने रिकवर नहीं किया, we experienced negative consequences, as a result of which we develop this reactivity in the body कि हम पुश करेंगे और अवॉइड करेंगे. The way to deal with the stammer is to push, to move forward, and the way to deal with the stammer is to avoid. And ये रिएक्टिविटी जो है हमारे बॉडी में इंटीग्रेट हो गई है, हमारे बॉडी में सबस्यूम हो गई है. दिस इज बिकम पार्ट ऑफ आवर मेकअप. एंड obviously that is a very important thing to understand because speech is automatic behavior, it's muscle memory. जैसे कि एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट सीखना, ये स्पोर्ट खेलना, ये सब कुछ जो है ये ऑटोमेटिक बिहेवियर है. हम वी आर नॉट सपोज टू थिंक अबाउट इट because we can think about then making meaning. So because of this, we have developed this reactivity in the experience. So this reactivity is the cause of a lot of struggle. And this struggle, जो संघर्ष जो हम महसूस करते हैं, ये रिएक्टिविटी से ही आता है. ज्यादातर जो है ये संघर्ष जो है ये रिएक्टिविटी से ही आता है. और ये संघर्ष जो है, ये स्ट्रगल जो है, फिजिकल स्ट्रगल है. दैट्स द पुश. पुश करना, ट्राई करना कि मैं नहीं हकलाऊं, वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूट करना, टॉकिंग अराउंड अ पॉइंट. हमारे के देयर इज एन एंडलेस लिस्ट ऑफ अवॉइडेंसेस दैट ऑल ऑफ अस हैव, राइट? So that is one way we sort of cope with it. And the other part of the struggle is the emotional struggle, भाविक struggle, intellectual struggle. हम सोचते रहते हैं अपनी स्पीच के बारे में. हम सुबह जागते हैं quite often and then we think about communication as a minefield. मुझको यहाँ जाना है, इससे बात करनी है, इससे छुपना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. इतनी जो mental energy जो हम देते हैं, that is also part of the struggle. So I think understanding stammering from these 2 points of view can be very helpful. That while we cannot do very much about our biological makeup, ये जो reactivity जो है, ये जो learned component है, ये जो conditioned component है, जो हमारे experience से arise होता है, उस experience को हम manage कर सकते हैं. और MOOC के activities का purpose यही है that over time we reduce the reactivity in our speech. We reduce the struggle in the speech. जो physical struggle है, जो physical संघर्ष है, वो कम हो सकता है. जो emotional संघर्ष है, जो avoidance से आता है, छुपाने से आता है, वो कम हो सकता है. So this is not about fluency. Let's take fluent speech off the table for now and put reactivity on the table. क्योंकि अगर हम रिएक्टिविटी को मैनेज करने लगेंगे, ठीक से रिएक्टिविटी को मैनेज करने लगेंगे, अपने आप जो है more forward moving speech, less tense speech, you can call it more fluent speech if you want, but more tense, less tense speech, more forward speech will ensue as a result of it. तो हमारा फोकस नहीं है कि हम फ्लुएंट बने, हमारा फोकस है कि हम रिएक्टिविटी कम करें. और अगर हम रिएक्टिविटी अगर हमारी कम होगी तो हमारी स्पीच ऑटोमेटिकली थोड़ी ज्यादा फॉरवर्ड मूविंग होगी. और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली, अगर हम एक्सेप्ट करें कि हम हकलाते हैं, तो हम एक्सपेरिमेंटल हो जाएंगे अपने स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस से. हम अपने स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस के साथ प्रयोग करना शुरू करेंगे। जैसे कि आपने पिछले हफ्ते वीडियो बनाए, इंट्रोडक्शन इन प्राइवेट सेटिंग, इंट्रोडक्शन इन सोशल सेटिंग, विद अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, विद अ फ्यू पीपल। अंकित ने जैसे एक वीडियो बनाया अपनी सारी फैमिली के साथ, राइट? ये सारी जो एक्टिविटीज जो हैं हम कर रहे हैं, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ बीइंग एक्सपेरिमेंटल विद आवर स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस। अगर हम वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग कर रहे हैं, कम्युनिटी में कर रहे हैं, किस टाइप की वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग कर रहे हैं? मैं इस टाइप की वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग कर सकता हूँ। ये लाइट वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग है। आप उसमें रिकग्नाइज भी कर जाएंगे कि मैं काफी बाउंस कर रहा हूँ। मैं टाइट वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग भी कर सकता हूँ। ये सब वेरिएशन जो है, ये सब जो स्पीच में जो प्रयोग है, ये बहुत जरूरी है रिएक्टिविटी कम करने के लिए। लोगों को बताना कि हम हकलाते हैं, वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग का करना, अपने आप के लिए एडवोकेट करना, अपने लिए कोई स्टैमरिंग इंटरव्यू करना, ये सब कुछ जो है, जो प्रयोग जो है, एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन जो है, जो कई लोग टीसा में करते रहे हैं फॉर द लास्ट लॉन्ग टाइम। Classic case in point in this room that I know who's doing this is Rajat. रजत ने टीसा ज्वाइन किया था, 1-2 साल हो गए, उसने इतना प्रयोग किया है अपने एक्सपीरियंस के साथ। ट्रेन में लोगों को अनाउंस किया कि मैं हकलाता हूँ, मास्टर क्लास अटेंड की, पुल आउट पे, कैंसिलेशन पे, ये सब जो प्रयोग जो रजत ने किया है, इसी के लिए उसका जो एक्सपीरियंस अब जो है स्टैमरिंग का वर्सेस जो एक्सपीरियंस था प्री टीसा, वो कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट होगा। तो इस टाइप का प्रयोग अपनी क्षमता से जो भी हम कर सकें, वो मूक हमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज देगा। So I've stopped for a very long time. I'll stop. If anybody has any questions, ask me. If any comments, I'll just be quiet, but that's what I have to say.
May I suggest something? May I request Triveni to say a couple of lines as to what she has understood, or if she wants to share
Absolutely.
something? Triveni?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, sir. Glad to talk to you, actually. Uh, I understood what you have said, but to summarize, I'm not able to recollect the points, actually. Mm.
Okay, no problem. So in last couple of weeks, since you have joined TOPG or TISA, have you learned something new? Have you discovered something new? Just one line.
I have been looking at my videos a couple of times. My confidence level is increased, actually, after seeing the videos for myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Triveni. Thank you so much. Thank you. Back to Dr. Amit. Unmute.
सॉरी। तो मैं दो चीजें बताना चाहता था आपको। दो टेक्नोलॉजीज जो हैं, जो हम मूक में, इस TOPG 2, मूक 2 जो भी आप बुलाते हैं, इसको फील्ड टेस्ट करने वाले हैं। एक, एंड आई से टेक्नोलॉजी इन अ वेरी लूज वे, एक टेक्नोलॉजी जो है, एंड दे आर बोथ फीडबैक technologies. I think it's very important for us to get feedback, for us to give ourselves feedback on what's going on here. एक प्रैक्टिस जो है, वो है रिफ्लेक्टिव जर्नलिंग। जैसे कि सचिन जी ने भी बोला अभी कि हम चाहते हैं कि आप जर्नल लिखें, लिखें, बोलें, वीडियो एंट्रीज, जो भी आपको ठीक लगता है आप कीजिए। लेकिन it is very useful, I have found, in my experience at least, and there is a lot of evidence for it as well. It's an evidence-based practice कि हमको, the more we reflect, the more we get into the habit of reflecting कि हमने क्या किया, क्या उसका आउटकम हुआ, क्या करना चाहता हूं, जब हम द मोमेंट व्हेन वी स्टार्ट डूइंग दिस रिफ्लेक्शन ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस, इसके बहुत एडवांटेजेस हैं। एक एडवांटेज तो ये है कि हम चेंज प्रोसेस पे देख सकते हैं। अगर हम रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया, कुछ डेटा नहीं लिया हमने, तो हमें कुछ मालूम नहीं है कि हम कहाँ थे और हम कहाँ आए। वी हैव अ जनरल सेंस ऑफ इट, बट वी डोंट हैव डेटा, एंड दैट डेटा इज वेरी यूजफुल। क्योंकि लेट्स से ऑन अ डे दैट यू फीलिंग लो, आप किसी के सामने ठीक से कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पाए, या आपने बहुत अवॉइडेंस की, आप कुछ बोलना चाहते थे बिल्कुल नहीं बोले, तो व्हेन यू आर फीलिंग लो, it is good to look at your diary and say, I'm not like this all the time. There are times when I'm able to disclose. There are times when I don't avoid. For example, last month, there were 2 days in which I did not avoid at all. So that is also in me. तो ये data जो है उसको देना बहुत important है, क्योंकि that was how we get over our negativity around it. That's one way to sort of do it. Reflection से और भी क्या होगा कि you become aware of your own thoughts. We will all become aware of our own thoughts. We have all these thoughts in our head. This is all a jumble. Brain may we do lots of different things during the day. We think about certain things, not think about certain things. So becoming aware of our thoughts is very useful. So I don't want to go into the whole thing about why reflective journaling is useful. Take it from me, it's very useful. It is used in a lot of change processes, whatever that change process is. And I think it would be useful to keep a reflective journal. और अगर आप लिखने का शौक नहीं है आपको, तो आप ऑडियो जर्नल बनाइए, ऑडियो जर्नल, ऑडियो एंट्रीज कीजिए, वीडियो एंट्रीज कीजिए, जो भी आपको ठीक लगता है कीजिए। मैं आपको एनकरेज करता हूं कि आप पुश कीजिए, कि आपको लिखना अगर अच्छा नहीं लगता तो कोशिश कीजिए। द मोर यू डू इट, द बेटर यू गोना गेट एट इट ऑल्सो, राइट? सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ ग्रोथ opportunity. That's also a learning opportunity, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So that's one technology that we will be using. इस टीओपीजी वेरिएशन में हम उसको ऑप्शनल कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम ट्राई करना चाहते हैं कि लाइक हाउ इज इट गोइंग। अगर एक और रिक्वायरमेंट में अगर आप हम आपको दे देंगे तो इट कैन गेट टू मच। सो दिस इज एन ऑप्शनल थिंग, बट इट्स वेरी एनकरेज कि आप एक जर्नल रखिए अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस को कैटलॉग करने के लिए। दूसरी टेक्नोलॉजी जो हम यूज करने वाले हैं इस टीओपीजी 2.0 में, वो है सेल्फ वीडियो मॉडलिंग। Self video modeling is a very, very useful empirically based practice. And that has been used to learn lots of different things. जो स्पोर्ट्समैन है, जो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप बास्केटबॉल प्लेयर हैं या क्रिकेट प्लेयर हैं, तो सेल्फ वीडियो मॉडलिंग एक टेक्नोलॉजी है, वो ऐसे यूज करते हैं कि आप, जैसे कि आपने एक परफेक्ट होम रन मारा, या what is the term in cricket? You hit the perfect swing, the golf swing or the basketball swing or whatever it is, or you played a brilliant instrument, right? Like you've done something well. तो उसको रिकॉर्ड करना, अपने आप को वॉच करना, ये बहुत यूजफुल चीज है, बिकॉज दैट इज नॉट ओनली गिविंग यू फीडबैक, इट इज ऑल्सो अलाउइंग यू फीड फॉरवर्ड, कि अगर ये टास्क में अब फिर रिपीट करना है तो ऐसे मैंने रिपीट करना है। So video self-modeling is a very powerful practice. It's used across the board. It is found to be very, very useful. और that is already part of TISA. जब आप वीडियो बना रहे हैं, जैसे कि 7 steps का जो वीडियो जो सचिन जी ने बनाया है, उसमें एक लाइन है record and review. What is that? That is a variant of video self-modeling. लेकिन उसको फोकस में यूज करना हम यहाँ पे सीखेंगे। और फोकस में it will look like this. Do some voluntary stammering. Do it privately. Do it in the community, or do it with somebody that you're feeling comfortable with. I'm just giving you an example of how it can work. Record yourself, either the full interaction or just your face, कि आप लाइट वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग कैसे कर रहे हैं। उसको 2-3 बार जो है उस वीडियो को जो है आप देखिए, और जब आप कम्युनिटी में जाएंगे वीडियो वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग करने के लिए, you will have a good model for yourself कि मैं इसको, इस चीज को अगर मैं रेप्लिकेट करना चाहूँ, कॉपी करना चाहूँ एक रियल सिचुएशन में, तो मेरा मॉडल ऑलरेडी प्रोवाइडेड है। तो ये दो टेक्नोलॉजीज जो हैं, दे आर बोथ फीड फॉरवर्ड एंड फीडबैक एंड फीड फॉरवर्ड टेक्नोलॉजीज we will be using quite a bit. So that's the only other thing I wanted to say.
Dr. Amit, are you through, or do you have any other point to cover? You can take some more time.
No, I'm through. I'm done. I just want to see if anybody has any questions. अगर आपके कोई questions हैं, सवाल हैं, जो comment हैं, feel free to share.
Why don't I invite Sagar Motiwale and Ankit Singla, because they are the two people who have joined rather late. So I want to hear from them, Ankit and Sagar. So let Ankit begin first. Very briefly, Ankit, what is your feedback? How are you feeling? Do you have any questions about the presentation which Dr. Amit made? Very briefly. Go on, Ankit. Unmute करिए और बोलिए अंकित. Yes.
Hello everyone. Good evening. So मैं सबसे पहले तो मतलब थैंक यू कहना चाहूँगा कि मुझे बिल्कुल लास्ट में आपने इंक्लूड किया, और मैंने अभी और मैंने अभी पूरी वीडियो देखी है, मतलब अभी मैं देख रहा हूँ। तो ये चीज तो मैंने भी देखी है कि सेल्फ एक्सेप्टेंस तो बहुत ही बिल्कुल बेसिक, बिल्कुल बेस है। मतलब मैं जैसे आज अपना खुद का ही एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ। आज मैंने मॉर्निंग में उठकर 1 घंटा अपने साथ बिताया। मतलब मैं बालकनी में जाके खड़ा हो गया था, और मैं मतलब ना खुद को देख रहा था, मतलब कि मेरे में क्या क्या कमी है, और मैं सब सब वो कमियों को डिवाइड कर रहा था कि मैं किस किस को ठीक कर सकता हूँ, और किस किस पर मेरा कंट्रोल नहीं है। और फिर मैंने पाया कि मतलब आज मैं थोड़ा सा शांत हूँ। मतलब अगर यही मीट में अगर मैं 2 दिन पहले बोलता तो शायद मैं इतना शांत नहीं होता। मतलब ये हो सकता है कि मैं स्टेमर भी कम करता, बट आज मैं शांत हूँ। मतलब जो मैं फील कर पा रहा हूँ, मैं अंदर से शांत हूँ। तो 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 मुझे ये लगता है कि सेल्फ एक्सेप्टेंस बिल्कुल ही बेस है। अ, मतलब वो तो आपका फर्स्ट स्टेप होना ही होना चाहिए। और और जो और और अगर मैं अपने सॉरी और अगर मैं अपने टास्क की बात करूं, तो मैंने 1.3 टास्क बनाया था, जिसमें आपको अपना सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन ही देना था सभी के सामने, और मेरे लिए सबसे टफ तो वही था। मतलब मैंने अ, क्योंकि मेरी सिस्टर भी थी सामने, मेरी भाभी भी थी, और मैंने मतलब बच्चों के सामने भी मतलब आप खुद को नीचे नहीं देख सकते, मतलब बच्चों के सामने ऐसा, मतलब बट मैंने फिर भी किया, क्योंकि मेरे को ये पता था कि ये अपॉर्चुनिटी शायद से मुझे दोबारा ना मिले। तो अ, सो सो मैं अ, सो सो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि मुझे मतलब ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि हाँ, मतलब अब मैं ट्राई करूंगा कि मैं और भी रेगुलर रहूं। मतलब हाँ, तो सर यही था मेरी तरफ से। थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Okay, Ankit. Thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you so much. And a big clap from all of us to you for your courage. I will quickly go to now to Sagar Motiwale, because he's also a late entry in our group, and then I will give a few minutes to Dr. Amit to conclude. And I'm very sorry to others because I'm not inviting them. It's only to make sure that we go to bed on time. So over to Sagar Motiwale. Unmute kariye Sagar and share your feedback.
Yeah. So, sir, firstly, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I have joined TISA in 2023 in May, and what I learned first thing is that we have to accept ourselves. And as today, uh, Amit sir said that uh, means we have to collect the data of means what we were in the past and what we are today. So the difference what I see uh, from the day when I start MOOC, uh, well, I think I've just completed 3 or 4 tasks of core MOOC tests. But after that, I have also started to make vlogs and I have posted them on YouTube. And the thing what I notice whenever I make a vlog, I stutter very rarely. Means I see in the camera, so it helps me to reduce my stuttering. So yeah, like I have seen the huge change in myself from the past 7 months. Uh, and I have also played with my stammering. Whenever I go outside, I try to speak with strangers. Means I know like I will stutter, but still I make sure that means I should get such confidence that I can at least speak to him. That's it.
Okay, Sagar. Thank you so much, Sagar. Thank you so much. You're doing all the right things. We are impressed. And once again, I want to say sorry to others because I'm not inviting them to share their thoughts. But in Telegram group, you can share your thoughts, your ideas, your questions. And before we conclude, I would like to give a big thank to Suraj. If Suraj was not here, I and Dr. Amit would have been very helpless, very helpless. Suraj is giving his making huge sacrifice. He's got little children. He's got a young family. He's got a full-time job. So, but still, he's helping us to do this TOPG. And so, before I invite Dr. Amit, I'll just give one more chance to Triveni because Dr. Amit has said this, and we also believe that women face double jeopardy, double whammy, because one thing they already have problems in this patriarchal society in our country, and on top of that, their numbers are very small, even among stammerers. So if you find 100 stammerers, you will find probably 80 male and maybe more than 80 male and only 5 or 6 women who stammer. So they are facing this kind of double jeopardy, double discrimination. So I want to give her few more minutes. So Triveni, do you want to share something quickly?
Yeah, yes, sir. It is very tough for a woman. Males take it very lightly, but for women it is very tough. But I didn't know uh, uh, about that TISA. Very recently, I came to know about TISA. Now I have 2 children actually. I'm very scared about them that they might get this way of talking with me. So I am dedicated now to lose his type of speaking behavior. Uh, I don't want to recollect the bad days now. I want to concentrate only on my future. How can I decrease the stammering and all? There are very bad moments in my life actually. I don't want to recollect them now. Uh, I only want to concentrate on how to complete the task and all.
Thank you, Triveni. I just want to give you one little home work today. Google and find out women who stammer, Indian women who stammer. Read about them a little bit, and you can share in the group. I just want to tell you that you are not alone who stammer. There are many women who stammer, and with this their stammering, they have made their way into the world, into media, into all kind of circles. So you can get inspiration from them. In America, there are many women who stammer, but they still carve out a place for themselves. And you are doing very well. So don't worry. Everything should be fine. So let me conclude and let me invite Dr. Amit. Any concluding thoughts, Dr. Saab,
Um,
over to
I
you?
want to, no, I want to take I think there was a question in chat from Yatharth. So Yatharth, अगर आप unmute करके, if you can ask the question to everybody, maybe we can have a little conversation at the end of it.
Yeah, sure. So my question was to Amit sir only, because he was saying that stammering has a biological component to it too. So what I wanted to ask was that when we read in a closed room or when we talk to ourselves loudly, why don't we stammer then, and why do we stammer in front of others? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, why does it show up
Yeah,
socially and not privately, right? That's the
yeah,
question, right?
yeah, exactly.
It's a big question. I don't know if I can answer it all. क्योंकि if I have to answer it from a more academic standpoint, I have to talk to you about what classical conditioning is, what operant conditioning is. Yeah, this is all learning that's happening. But the short answer to your question, Atharth, is that it is a moment of instability. Stammering is not a pervasive condition. There are biological conditions that are pervasive conditions. For example, autism is a pervasive condition. People who are autistic do not experience non-autistic states. Uh, Stammering is different, right? It's a moment of instability. And that instability is likely to show up when our body is in a situation, is in a social context when we're trying to make meaning. When we're talking to ourselves, we're not making social meaning, we're making private meaning. That's the difference. So the moment another person gets into the communication environment, moment somebody else comes into view, our stakes are completely different. So the biological instability, which is why it's important to understand that it's not a pervasive condition, it's a fluctuating one. There are biological conditions which are pervasive, and there are biological conditions that are fluctuating. And it's an unstable moment that we experience in a social context because that's when you're making social meaning. And the body, that's very important. Your body is changing from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. But it's a very different body when you're in a closed room talking to yourself, and it's a completely different body when you are in a social environment where this kind of instability is going to manifest because there's a higher stake. Now you're actually making social meaning. That's my abridged version or the short version of what I want to say. You and I can talk more at length if you want about like what are some learning principles which you go on to explain all this. Maybe we don't need to go there, but that's basically my basic response. That's all I've got to say, guys. So I think me and Dr. Sachin both are looking forward to this new adventure with you, and looking forward to seeing you on Mondays, where we will do some body work and some soul work and see where we go. I think it would be useful to just think about this as if I can generate some more momentum towards reducing my reactivity over the next 4 months, that might be a good sort of an outcome, a positive outcome that you can look forward to. And you will give yourself you will give your body no choice but to experience stammering differently if you go through these particular tasks, because these tasks are designed to make you less sensitive, to make all of us less sensitive to the experience. I like to think about stammering as a somatic experience, locating it in the body. Because when we locate it in the body, then we are able to see how we can put the body through different experiences. So we can experience the same stammering moment with less struggle, with more confidence, and with more of an approach mindset versus an avoidance mindset. So I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amit. Some of you may even want to tinker with this idea. Is stammering a spiritual experience besides being a somatic experience? You can think about that also. Every time when I block, what is happening to me? Is it a spiritual experience? Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. The tasks to be done in next 6 weeks, 6 days, in next week, I'll be announcing in Telegram group. I'll write down everything there. Just read that and do at your own pace. You'll have 6, 7 days, and we'll meet again next Monday, same time, right here in this class. And so before I conclude, I want to give a big thanks to all of you, and a special thanks to Suraj. And again, a special thank to Triveni for being here, and each one of you. Thank you so much. Suraj, we can end the meeting now.
Okay, sir.